Hello, welcome back to Talking Tunes, and today we're talking about the 14 not very good tunes on Yes's 1991 album, Union. This album is not good, but first, as always, gotta get into some history. Yes is notorious for having lineup changes going back clear to their first three albums, but basically, what you need to know is Yes had a very, very strong lineup in the 70s consisting of John Anderson, Steve Howe, Chris Squire, Rick Wakeman, and Bill Bruford. Bill Bruford was later replaced with Alan White. Rick Wakeman took a brief sabbatical from the band in 1974. He was replaced by Patrick Moraz for a little while, but then he came back in 1977 and 1978. They had another lineup change in 1980, disbanded for a couple of years, came together, and then reformed with some new members in 1983. Those members being John Anderson, Trevor Rabin on guitar, Chris Squire on bass, Tony Kaye on keys, and Bill Bruford on drums. And that was the lineup heading into for two albums in the 80s, those being 1983's 90125 and 1987's Big Generator. And then the band broke up again, and then John Anderson and Steve Howe all got together, and basically, and then John Anderson, Steve Howe, Rick Wakeman, and Bill Bruford got together with bassist Tony Levin, and they recorded Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, Howe. Chris Squire did not participate as he was still technically a member of Yes at that time. And that album came out in 1989, and that gave the record company idea of, hey, why don't we fuse the current lineup of Yes with Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, Howe, and create the ultimate Yes album for 1991? Sounds like a great idea. On paper. In practice, it doesn't turn out super great. Song number one, I Would Have Waited Forever. When you put the CD in, the song just starts right up. There's no intro. It's just, I would have waited forever. Just instantly. It's clearly still working with the 80s Yes sound, which is not one of my favorites. It's a little bit overproduced and compressed for my liking. There are attempts to fuse the 80s sound with the 70s sound, and it fails. There's a lackluster guitar solo, and with frankly an imitation epic scale. This album has a big problem with that. There's moments that should be epic, that should be jizz-worthy, but the production fails that sound. I feel like a lot of the time, you know what? I'll explain it. Starting with song number 2, Shock to the System. It's got bad 80s drums, and it sounds like imitation hair rock or hair metal. It just doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound like 80s Yes, and it doesn't sound like classic 70s Yes. And, considering the fact that there's 8 members on this album, you've got John Anderson, Bill Bruford, Steve Howe, Tony Kaye, Trevor Rabin, Chris Squire, Rick Wakeman, and Alan White. You have 2 keyboardists, 2 guitarists, and 2 drummers. Come on, dude. Alright? And 1 bassist and a vocalist. That sounds like an epic band. But with all of these guys working together in the studio, I'm sorry, their ideas just seem to cancel each other out, and we're left with very generic stuff. Song number 3, Masquerade. It's about 10 minutes into the hour and 14-minute album. That's another problem with the album. It's too damn long. It just keeps going on, and it just feels like it doesn't stop at all. It's just a big, long, just drawn out thing. Yeah, but Masquerade is finally something resembling classic 70s Yes. However, it is only a 2.5-minute classical guitar piece played by Steve Howe. Like, again, it's the only thing that's not raped by the production on the album, so I'm not gonna complain. Song number 4, Lift Me Up. We're back to 80s Yes, but this song is actually somewhat cool. It almost feels like an early 90s version of Don't Surround Yourself with Yourself, Move On Back to Squares, that section of I've Seen All Good People. And, you know, it's finally like an actual good song. However, there is this drum beat that kind of sounds like it's stealing from Genesis's Mama. It got, like, because Genesis's Mama has this, you know, it sounds like it's stealing that drum beat, just higher pitched and faster, right? It feels like that a little bit. Song number 5, Without Hope, You Cannot Start the Day, which is a very long song title. It feels like a part of a suite. The first 2 minutes sounds like it's the part of a suite. Like, it sounds like part of an epic suite, either the beginning or in the middle in a calm moment of an epic prog rock suite that they forgot to write the remaining 15 minutes of. But then, like, the second part is very disconnected. It's very bad 80s Yes. Neither part's great. The second part is awful. It's just ass. It's terrible. Like, it's just like, and they're not connected. It's just so bad. Saving My Heart, awful. The song would have been laughed at if it wasn't being recorded by Yes. If this was another band, you know, if this was an up-and-coming band in 1991, they would have, like, the record company would have said, no, that song's bad, right? And they'd be right, because the song's bad. It's not good. Miracle of Life. Now, Miracle of Life, here we go. Song number 7 has an actual intro that sounds like 70s Yes, and for a brief 2-minute section, the production of the album does not destroy the 70s sound of this band. However, by 2 minutes in, it has faded into 80s Yes. However, it does have a nice melody. It's decent. I don't hate this song. Am I gonna seek it out? Like, is this one of, like, my favorite Yes songs now? Absolutely not. I would, you know, pick something else every other day of the week, but if I was forced to listen to it, I wouldn't complain. But the song is a little bit too long. Like, that's kind of, like, the problem with the album, and a lot of the songs on it, they're just too long for all the more they are, and all the more dense the production and the sound is, and the instrumentation is just Silent Talking, it's more shitty 80s Yes, like, same with song number 9, The More We Live, Let Go. Angkor Wat is, like, this synth preset soundscape for its entire duration. It's very boring. You could, like, you know, yes, John Anderson says some stuff, but you could take a piss and miss nothing during this song, and I don't even know what a lot of these songs are about. Dangerous, once again, it's more bad 80s Yes. Song number 12, Holding On, See Above. Evensong, it's a preset synth interlude. It's just, you know, it's 50 seconds long. There's nothing there. And then Take the Water to the Mountain. This another actually decent song. It does close the album pretty decently. But yeah, It's not a good album. I do not recommend it. The album cover and the album art is once again drawn by the legendary Roger Dean. The band would tour, this lineup would tour, all 8 of them at the same time, yes, would play on stage. I didn't look up the set list for it. I'm assuming they threw in some classics that basically everybody in the band would have known at that point, so they probably sounded honestly pretty epic with 8 people playing them. That sounds actually kind of cool. Hearing Roundabout with 8 people, that sounds awesome. But yeah, the band isn't super fond of this one either. It didn't do all that well critically. Their next album is worse. Their next album, Talk, is worse. It's just not good. It's equally long. It has a 15-minute soundscape at the end. That pissed me off when I listened to it. So, this is better than that, but not by much. I believe it was Bill Bruford who referred to this album as Onion, because it stinks so bad. And when there's only, 3 good songs, Masquerade, or, hold on. Let me consult my notes here. When you've only got Masquerade, Lift Me Up, Miracle of Life, and Take Me to the Water, like those 4 songs out of 14, and the 10 others you could basically just dismiss, yeah, you've got a bad album. But, yeah, Yes would continue to have lineup changes. There is a band currently touring as Yes, where the only member from classic 70s Yes is Steve Howe. But I do kind of want to see them because they are playing Fragile in its entirety on tour right now. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave you. Apart from the 4 songs I mentioned, just don't bother. Don't bother. It's not worth it. I own this because I bought it for $5 at a second-hand Charles. It wasn't a very well spent $5, but the album cover looked cool. So yeah. That's where I'm going to leave you for this episode. If you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that bullshit. If you want to hear what I happen to be listening to that day, you can follow me on Instagram. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. I post a 15-second song of a 15-second segment of a song on my story there every single day. And if you want to hear me talk about something other than music, I have a podcast with 2 of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will leave a link to the most recent episode of that in the description down below. And with that, I would like to thank you all very much for watching. And remember to stay weird and keep jamming. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.